All right, so let's look at the first problem. First problem kind of looks like the one I had earlier. Sometimes they give you pictures, sometimes they don't give you pictures. If they don't give you a picture, draw a picture. Use your calculator to draw a picture. We're lucky enough they give us a picture here, okay? So we have, let R be the green region, okay? The green region is enclosed by f of x. F of x is 2 times the square root of x. So f of x equals 2 times the square root of x. And then the x-axis. What's the x-axis's other name besides x-axis?
Horizontal?
Any line could be horizontal, right? But what is the name of the x-axis besides x-axis? Like if I wanted you to look at the x-axis, what other name would I use that we could put in our calculator? Because I can't put x-axis in my calculator, right? If I wanted you to graph the x-axis, what would I put? But again, so if I'm putting it in my calculator, I can't put x-intercept, right?
Y equals 0.
There you go, y equals 0. Y equals 0. That's the guy I can put in my calculator. My calculator understands y equals 0. F of x equals 2x, or 2 times the square root of x. I don't want to use y. I shouldn't use y because f of x is the same thing as y. Let me use g of x. Okay? And then they got vertical lines, right? X equals 0. Again, x equals 0 is the name of the y-axis. And then x equals 5 is over here. Find the volume of the solid that's generated when this guy is revolved around. So here we go. This is where we're revolving. We're revolving around the x-axis. So if I'm revolving around the x-axis, it's going to be a dx because it's horizontal. The x-axis is a horizontal line. Okay? So this guy is going to be a dx. Okay? All right, so let's use that formula up there, volume. Volume equals pi. The reason pi is in the front is because we're finding the disk, right? We're finding the volume of one disk. Well, a disk is circular. And if you're finding volume or area of anything circular, you're going to need a pi. So that's why we always have pi there. Okay, and then radius squared dx. Okay, so let's start with the bounds. Left to right, right? Because if it's dx, bounds go left to right. So what's the left bound? X equals what? 0 to x equals what?
5.
There we go. Now the radius. Here's the radius. The radius is from the top of the green to the axis of revolution. So the top, you could do this anywhere. I'll do it right here. Straight line down to the axis of revolution. That's R. I could have done that anywhere. I could have done that here. I could have done that here. It doesn't matter. I just pick a general area. The reason I do that is because that is where I'm going to do this. Since it's dx, we're going to go top function minus bottom function. That's going to be the radius. That's going to be the radius. Okay? So let's go back to ours. What is the top function? 2 square root of x, right? So 2 square root x minus, what's the bottom function? 0, right? Dot to dot. I go dot to dot, right? Dot to dot, top to bottom. That's why I did that here. Done. Ready for the calculator now. So you can simplify it a little bit before you put it. I always simplify it as much as possible because it makes it a little easier to use on the calculator. Subtracting 0 just means it's just that. You could even square this. It's going to be 4x. 2 times the square root of x, square of 2, square the square root, you get 4x. So really it's just 4x. Or you could put it like that, up to you. So then you go to your calculators. Okay. Go into my calculator. And you just do an integral. So I have pi. So pi's in front of the integral. Then you go to your integral. All right, 0 to 5. And then we had 2 square root x squared. And it was dx, right? Hit enter. If they tell you how many spaces to go there. If they don't tell you, go 3 spaces. 3 spaces is fine. Okay? So I don't believe they tell us how many spaces. 1,000, so that's 3 spaces. So we're going to go 3 spaces. So 157.080. 0.080. 157.080, and that is the volume of that figure that would be created. Again, we don't have to draw it. It's not asking us to draw it. You don't even need to picture it in your head. It's easier if you can see it in your head, but you don't need to see what that 3-dimensional figure is going to look like. Okay. All right. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay. So now we have a second one. R is the green enclosed area. So we have 2 functions. I have f of x and I have y equals 1. I have 4. F of x is the curve. Okay. Let's see. The horizontal line y equals 1. Horizontal line y equals 1. X equals 0, which is the y-axis, and x equals 2, which is the vertical line. Okay. All right. Is this a dy or is this a dx?
dx.
This is another dx because it's revolving around y equals 1. Y equals 1 is a horizontal line. dx. So let's set up our guy. Volume equals pi. AB, radius squared, dx. So I should have put it on here. What are the bounds for this? 0 to 2. x0, x2. Okay. Again, dx means the radius is top function minus bottom function. Top function minus bottom function. Okay. This is where I make my I start at the top of the green.
I forgot to ask, but for when we have an answer, do we have to add a unit or is
No. Yeah. Don't worry about the units here. I've never seen them mark it off for units. Yeah, so don't worry about the units. Good question though. Okay, so the top of the green would be this line here. I go down until I hit an axis of revolution, or you stop having green. When you hit another color besides green, you're done. So again, this is R. Okay. So top function minus bottom function. So what am I going to have in the parentheses?
EX, e to the x power.
E to the x power.
This one.
Say it again.
This one.
Plus 1. It's actually going to be, it's actually, wait. Oh, plus 1, sorry. Yeah, plus 1. And then minus, right? The bottom function. Well, what is the bottom function?
One.
1. Again, simplify. I always simplify as much as I can. These two guys are common, are like terms. They cross out. So really, it's just that's really what it is. Okay. Calculator, what do you get? Don't forget about the pi in the front. One of the biggest mistakes I see is just doing the integral and not multiplying times pi. So what do you get? Tell me what you get, and I'll tell you what I get.
84.192.
That's what I got, yeah. That is what I got, 84.192. Okay. All right, number 3. No picture. So the first thing we got to do is draw a picture. So use your calculator and then sketch a picture. Use your calculator and then sketch a drawing. Because again, we need top minus bottom for the radius. Not going to really, you're not going to know which one's top, which one's bottom unless you actually graph it. So draw that picture once you get it, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So label which one's which. On mine, let's see, the red on mine is y equals 1/2 x. The green is y equals 4. And the blue is y equals 0. There's actually another one on here, the y-axis. It looks like the y-axis is something we're going to have to use, so I'll use a different color. Let's see, I'll use purple. That is x equals 0. Okay, so here's the area enclosed. So when they say the area enclosed, that is this little triangle here. It's locked in by all of those graphs. So this one is actually revolving about the y-axis. Is the y-axis a horizontal line or is it a vertical line? It's vertical, so this one's dy. This one is going to be our first dy problem. Okay, so let's set up our A, oops, I don't want, why did I put A to B? Okay. And then dy. Okay. What are the bounds?
8.
0 to 4, yeah, 0 to 4. Why not 0 to 8? You're right, Ezekiel. Why not 0 to 8? Yeah, that's only dx, right? dy goes y's. So from 0 to 4. 0 to 4 in this one. Okay. Now, again, this is our first dy problem. So if you go to the first page, it says how we should do it. The radius is going to be right minus left. Right function minus left function. Okay? Right function minus left function. So I go back to, always start in the bounded area, the blue. Which color is the right side of the blue? The red. So I'm going to start at the red, and I'm going to go left until I stop hitting red. Or till I stop hitting, till I stop hitting the blue. That's when you know you run into your left. Right dot minus left dot. Right dot minus left dot. Okay, the right dot is y equals 1/2 x. The left dot is x equals 0. So 1/2 x minus 0.
Would it, even though the x equals 0 and not y equals 0?
So yeah, so what about that? This is wrong, by the way. This is wrong. What I just wrote on here, if you wrote what I wrote, you're going to have to erase it because this is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because it's with respect to y. I don't want x's. I want y's. So this 0 here can stay because it doesn't have an x, right? But this guy in front needs y's instead of x's. So what do I got to do? Solve for y, yep. So that was from y equals 1/2 x, right? So solve for y, get y by itself. So multiply both sides by 2. You get 2y equals x, done. So instead of 1/2 x, we're going to put 2y. So this is pi 0 to 4, 2y squared dy. Okay, go to your calculator. What do you get? Should be 130 something. Verify that you got that. Oops, no, sorry, sorry, wrong problem. Look at the wrong problem. It's 260 something.
Yeah.
260 something. Sorry, that's the answer to the next problem. This one is 268.083. That's why. I figure that's why no one was saying anything. Okay. All right. All right, so what I want you to do is do the last problem. I want you to try the last problem on your own. We'll go over it, but I'll give you some time to do the last problem. I'll give you the answer. It's 130 is the answer I had earlier, 134.041. Okay. Okay, so if you're not done, or if you're finishing, go ahead and finish. I'll start just because I know most of you guys are finishing or done. Okay, so there's the picture. It was a half circle, but I didn't put the whole half circle there because it said first quadrant. It only wanted the first quadrant. So even if you drew the full half circle, that's okay, but they just want the first quadrant. So don't even worry about the second quadrant stuff. Okay, so it's a quarter. It's really a quarter of a circle, right? And we have that said y equals square root 16 minus x squared. That's the circle, half circle part, and then about the y-axis, which is x equals 0. Okay. Well, first of all, is it a dy or is it a dx? dy, because it's revolving around the blue line. The blue line's a vertical line. It's dy. It's spinning around this thing. Okay? So since it's dy, bounds are going to be top and bottom. So 4 to 0, right? 4 to 0. Okay? For the radius, again, first page, that's why it's on the first page. The first page, if you're stuck, guarantee you the first page will help because that's where all the notes are. If it's a dy, it's right minus left. Right minus left. So the right side of the blue minus the left side of the blue. So the right side of the blue, so we go from this is the right side of the blue, and then I go left until I stop being in the blue. That's why I draw a picture and shade it. Even if you just shade it with your pencil, it's important because you can see where the right and where the left are. Okay? That's your R. That's your radius. Okay. So the right is square root 16 minus x squared minus the left, which is 0. But it's dy. This is dy, right? So I can't put this guy. If I put this guy, my calculator won't know what to do because it's dy. I can't have x's and y's mixed together. So I got to solve this guy for x. So y equals square root 16 minus x squared. Multiply both sides by 2. Or sorry, by squared, by second power. You get y squared equals 16 minus x squared, right? Subtract 16 from both sides. Negative x squared. Divide both sides by -1. So that's going to be negative y squared plus 16 equals x squared. And then you take the square root. So you get negative y squared plus 16. But you also get a plus and a minus because we took the square root. I'm only going to use one of those. Which one am I going to use, the plus or the minus for this problem?
Plus,
Why plus?
because it's in the positive.
What's in the positive?
The graph,
Be more specific. What's positive?
X and Y.
The x's and y's, there you go. I need to get a positive answer. So the y's and x's are positive, so I'm only going to use the positive one. Okay? So you can write it like that, or you can write it 16 minus y squared. Either one. But again, we only want the positive. So it's going to be 16 minus y squared, square root, minus 0. So you have volume equals pi 4, 0, 16 minus y squared. Oops. Squared, which is just 16 minus y squared. You put that in your calculator, and you get 134.014.
How would you plug it in since you can't put in Y on the calculator?
How did you do it on the test? You did that on the test? Because there was dy stuff on the test, right?
Plug in, replace that as X?
No? How many different letters are there?
Only one.
So just change the letter. You can, when there's only one letter, you can change it to whatever letter you want.
I put it as X and, I don't know, I just got I get a different answer.
Did you put it in correctly? Let's see. Minus 0. Yeah, you put it in incorrectly. Put it like that. Okay. All right. Okay, we got time, and you got page. You should have. Let me see. Do you guys have room somewhere to do something? I want to give you one more problem to do on your own.
I keep on getting the same answer.
Okay. You gotta.
dy. Yeah, isn't it dy?
Y equals 8. Is a y equals 8 horizontal, or a y equals 8 vertical? So horizontal. Yeah. This is y equals 8 right here. And this is y equals 2x cubed over here. Okay? Yeah, if it says y equals, it's horizontal. If it says x equals, it's vertical. So yeah, so it's dx so that means top minus bottom. So the top of the shaded part, and I'm telling you right now, it's a lot easier to do if you actually have something shaded on your paper, because then you just look for the top of the shaded. The top of the shaded is here. The bottom of the shaded is here. A lot of times students try to do this without drawing a picture or without shading it, and they get stuck. Which one's the top, which one's the bottom? It's easy to see if you shade it. You just go from the top of the shade to the bottom of the shade. Boom, there's your top and your bottom, right? So this one's going to be 8 minus 2x cubed. Okay, so if you're having issues with finding the radius, first thing I'm going to tell you is shade. Start shading. Even if it's with your pencil or a pen or something, just start shading it so that you can easily see what the top and the bottom or the right and the left are. Okay? Put that in your calculator and you should get what's on the board. 205, 148.
Are there any bounds?
Oh, sorry, yeah, what are the bounds?
0 to 1.6.
I see 0. I don't see 1.6 though.
Oh.
How do we know 1.6? Well, it's here, right? Let me get a different color.
Oh, it's from the top? Or are we looking at for it on the y-axis or the x-axis?
That's a good question. You tell me. Are we looking for it for what? First of all, how do I find that? How do I find that spot?
You look for the intersection.
You look for the intersection, right? You look for the intersection on your calculator. It's going to give me a dot. Which one do I want, the x or the y? The x. For this one, I want x because it's dx. When it's dy, you want the y. I get 1.5874.
So it's the same as 1.6.
If you put 1.6 on your calculator, you're not going to get anywhere close to that. So yeah, you can put 1.6, but you wouldn't. If it's a multiple choice question, your answer wouldn't match.
Is that the same answer for this one?
It should be 7.8.
Okay.
Is that what you guys got? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I wrote 4.8.